What is up, guys? Welcome to the Game Junction Podcast. This is episode 64. We're back here this week with all kinds of crazy news. How's it going, Craig? Uh-oh, he went quiet. Oh, no. Well, you been feeling a little out of control this week with all these news announcements? Oh, dude. I'm feeling it, man. It was a crazy week in gaming, and yeah. I did a show last night on somebody else's channel, and they all agreed with me. I knew that some other people sort of did, but they all agreed that this has been uh, the best year in gaming. And then it was even more um, confirmed last night when these games started popping up on this list that they were doing. They were doing like one of those brackets and pulling up all these other games that I even forgot about that weren't nominated for awards but were still top tier. Some of them 10 out of 10 games, and I'm like, oh my god, this was the best game the best year in gaming history, and I'm just blown away, man. It's cool to experience this. Yeah, yeah, sure. Ultimate Edition, yeah, 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 yeah. It really did. It really did. A cool conversation got brought up, which I know how I kind of feel about it, and I think most of the people on the panel agreed. One person did not, I believe. But things like you just brought up some stuff that got brought to Switch that hasn't before. Borderlands has, but that new Ultimate Edition has everything in it. The conversation of Cyberpunk being, you know, able to win an award when the game came out in 2020. Uh, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it really did. Yeah, 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 I agree. Just crazy year in gaming. So I guess to sort of start off, yeah, the I guess we can talk sort of on how the Game Awards was as a whole, and then sort of dive into that. What'd you think? I streamed to watch the whole thing live, so I've got yeah, yeah. I don't even know, man. And we can just start sort of from the top. I guess just a sort of input on what I thought as a whole. It was interesting. There was some stuff that I didn't like that they did. I wasn't a fan of the fact that they didn't allow people to speak. They were on a timed, like, 30-second timer or 45-second timer. So there was no time to be given for people making accepting these awards, I get that you have to get through the show and it's already a long show, but they also interjected these like musical performances that nobody asked for. I thought they were all terrible. Personally, we laughed about them on stream like they were. I thought they were a joke. They didn't fit in. I don't think, and they were long. A couple of them were very very long. Um, it's not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of the name right now either. Yeah. Then there's like Mega Ran who does like the video game music and yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah, I think if they would have cut down some of the throwaway awards that we essentially talked over because it was just like so it literally was throwaway, there would be more time. But what really irked me was there were I feel bad for not remembering which developer, but there was a development team that were talking and they lost one of their developers this year that was working on the game that won an award. Was it Baldur's Gate? Okay, so that's pretty ridiculous, I think, and also just very sad on Jeff Keighley's part to not give them an extra few seconds or something to talk. It's just pushing. Yeah, yeah, I heard. Yeah. Oh, he went into it again this year. He went into it again. It was funny. Yeah. Yeah, we laughed about that. That was pretty funny. I'm glad they sort of brought him back and he joked about it, and that was good stuff. But yeah, we'll go ahead and dive in. We'll go ahead and dive in. I guess from the top. So what do we got first here? So excited. So excited. Yeah, most people that aren't Monster Hunter fans are a fan of World because it's the most accessible game in the series. They cut out a lot of the super super deep mechanics and things that most Monster Hunter fans love. But I loved it, and I'm a Monster Hunter fan. I played since the first game on the PS2. I've got all the collector's editions for Rise. Like I'm a pretty big fan. I wouldn't say crazy fan, but I'm a fan. So this looks awesome. This looks really good. Running on this current gen hardware. It's exclusive to current gen, thank God. We're not getting a Switch port, thank God. That means there's all the development is going into these new consoles, and it's going to, take full advantage of the new hardware. Yeah, yeah, me too. Yes, yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I hope so as well. I think Rise and World are both phenomenal games. Super super excited. So gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And
Gonna be a
then
good time. So
another Kojima project getting announced, and like we have no idea what it's about.
no idea what it's about. No idea what it's about.
Yeah.
But do we ever?
No,
do we
we
ever
never
know what
do.
his stuff is about?
Well,
Not
what was his
particularly.
his last game was Death Stranding?
Yeah, yeah. That was the
Yeah.
last game.
Like
Yep.
one of those, like tons of mystery around it. Like I'm actually like not surprised that Microsoft is getting him to work on his like something exclusive, but it's like okay, like it was like PT. Like okay, it was announced, he worked on it, the demo came out, and then he got pulled. It's like okay, I will get hyped when I see a gameplay and announcement date.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm with you on there. So,
Yeah.
weird stuff. The girl yelling at the camera or whatever the heck she was doing, screaming at the camera.
Oh
Was
yeah.
very weird. Very weird,
Yeah.
like cinematic trailer for it. But I
Yeah.
expect nothing less. So,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah, like there's didn't somebody also like bomb or not photo bomb, but they snuck on stage during the Game Awards as well,
Did they?
and
I don't know. I missed that. If that happened, I missed
like
that.
supposedly that happened. I know that also happened. What was it last year as well? But somebody like snuck on stage with developers and like they ended up getting kicked out. It was announced like after like 2 or 3 days after the event. Uh,
Okay.
but
All right. Yeah, I
yeah,
missed this, but
yeah,
interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
but
Yeah,
free, yeah, free DLC for God of War Ragnarok.
I'm excited about that. I'm
I
excited
am
about that
too.
because it's free and it's Sony, and I'm shocked because they've made no good choices for
So
the past 2 years at least.
ironically, I sold my copy of Ragnarok. It was still new because I was
Hmm.
like, I'm never gonna get to this. And then earlier, like 2 days ago, Best Buy had their 12 days of gaming, and it was $20. So I was like, okay, cool,
Oh,
I'll
good
pick it up
deal.
now. This DLC's been announced.
Good
He's like,
deal.
I'll
Good
actually
deal.
make it perfect to get to it. So yeah, I love the first game. I haven't even gotten to the second game yet, but it's on my like winter break list.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I was hoping this weekend that I was going to make a little more progress towards that because of this announcement. I have not even
yeah,
remotely beat it. I'm 4 hours into it. So I got it on launch day, and I don't get a lot of games on launch day anymore.
same here.
But this was one I was really excited about because I loved the last God. I loved it. I was so excited, and I was going to stream it, and I did. I streamed it the first time I played it. So many games this
I
year. I
know.
didn't get to come back to it, so I wish I had just waited until I could grab it for $20.
Well,
Um,
like Horizon Forbidden West, it's just been sitting on my shelf, and like you said, there's just been
I haven't even
so
played it yet.
much.
I haven't even
And,
played it
and
yet.
it sucks because I loved the Zero Dawn, but it's like man, I just have not between kids and balancing life. It's like I people are probably gonna give me pitchforks for this, but can we just stop game development for a year? Like
That's what they were
just
saying last night. They're like, let's have 2024 as like the break year so we can catch up on all these games we
I
weren't able to play.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that DLC's free. So, and it's supposed to be like a roguelike. Go in. It's supposed to be like the epilogue for Kratos' story. So,
Yeah. Got
and
my
then,
mic cut out again.
oh, you're good.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
Bland,
super
or
excited. Super excited. We've also got. It looks like after that, we already talked about Kojima, the weirdness with that. Here's one I'm excited about. Don't know much about it at all. Again, one of my frustrations with the Game Awards and actually modern gaming reveals, period, is the cinematic trailers because it shows me nothing of the game. But Blade, Marvel's Blade,
yes.
one of my favorite Marvel characters, along with Punisher. So I am all for this. This is a mature, single-player, third-person game set in the heart of Paris, and it is a single-player game. Thank God. It's not some
I,
sort of
so,
online game.
so I get mixed on these announcements when they're
Yeah,
so early in development
me too.
because they're like, yeah, we just started development. I'm like, why are you telling us?
Metroid Prime
Uh,
4 all over again.
Oh my goodness, like the Wolverine game that we still have not seen anything
Yeah.
of.
Duke Nukem
It,
Forever, they announced it, it was in development hell. Who
yeah,
knows if
and
this will be as well, you know what I mean? Like,
it's I really like I get they want us to be hyped and pumped, but give me more stuff that I can like play sooner than later. Like I think, and I'm actually spoiler alert, we didn't get any Nintendo announcements that I remember, but I feel like Nintendo's been more on top of that. Like, oh,
yeah.
by the way, this is coming out in 3 months. This is coming out in 6 months.
Yeah.
So I
They've
like
done better. I think they learned from the Metroid Prime 4 situation for
I would
sure.
hope so.
I mean,
'Cause,
they even
gosh,
drop, the smaller titles now. Like, they don't
yeah,
even give any sort of word on that, which I think is good because, yeah,
I
I
love it.
have no problem with 6 months before a game comes out, 3 months before a game comes out. Like, I don't like the, 4 years. Hey, we're starting development for this new game. We started
Yeah.
development for Elder Scrolls 6, and okay, well, thanks for letting me know. We'll see it in 10 years.
Well, they announced Starfield when they announced
10
Elder Scrolls
years.
6.
Yeah, it was almost 10 years, right?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. It's been a long
Long
time, and
time.
it's
They
it's
announced, okay, here it is. They announced Starfield just shortly, it wasn't too much after No Man's Sky came out.
was it really that long?
We were talking about it last night, yeah. So we've known about
Wow.
Starfield for a very long time.
Well,
Um,
like Beyond Good and Evil 2, they we talked about this what last week? They or a
yeah.
week ago, 2 weeks ago, they leaked it the HD remaster before they even released the sequel. So, like, come on, like, can we just like stop this? Because it for me as lifelong fan of all of this stuff, I just get disappointed, and it's
I
like
agree.
okay, yeah, and it's like when I can actually see a hard release date, then it's like okay, I can actually get pumped. I can budget for it. I know like I can kind of plan
Yep.
around these launch dates, but it's like okay, cool, it's coming. Like it'll be here when it's here.
You announce it 10 years, like, most people are going to forget about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, why even announce it? I mean, honestly, like, some people are going to be out of gaming at that point. Some people, gaming is just like, a very casual thing they do when they're younger, and like, at that point, like, people just don't care. 10
right.
years? Like, that's too long. That's too long, man. A year, I feel like, is max of announcing a game for me. Like, I don't need to know before a year because who knows what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
with the casual delays, or typical delays that is with video games right now, like, there's no point. So
yeah. Well, like I'm in some dad groups on Facebook, and one of them's a Bluey dad group. And when they announced the Bluey game, is like, by the way, this is coming out in like 2 months. Like everyone got hyped,
yeah,
and so it's like, okay, like yeah, keep it like that.
right. Yep. I'm with you. Speaking of that Bluey game, that sold out at my Walmart. People were. I actually was when I went there to. I always check if there's like deals or clearance out items every now and then. And when I went there was a guy looking for it, and one of the workers came by. He's like, "Yeah, we sold out of that when it came here. We're waiting on another shipment to come. We only got
That's
6 copies,
crazy.
but yeah, I'm like, alrighty then, interesting stuff for sure." My potentially favorite announcement, I think it was for sure. Sega is remaking a bunch of classic franchises. Oh my
Yes,
gosh, I about pooped the brick on
I
this one.
I don't. Ooh, so I'm mixed. To be perfectly honest, just because we've seen this before, and we saw it with the PS2 GameCube era. We got a Shinobi for the PS2, and it like was okay. We did get a sequel to Jet Set Radio. Streets Race 4 was amazing. Crazy Taxi, we've seen it ported a million times, and we got a Golden Axe for PS. Was it PS3? Um,
Yeah,
that sucked. And so it's like,
yeah, but
okay.
these are remakes along the lines of, I assume, just the first games. Like, so
Now,
you know
I
what I mean?
yeah. Now watching that trailer, like I didn't even recognize Streets of Rage, but like Golden Axe, seeing that it was multiplayer, I was like, okay, cool. Crazy Taxi looks
As it should
ridiculous.
be.
Shinobi is how it should be, a 2D like. Oh goodness,
They
I
they
cannot think
they
of it.
remade it for the 3DS, and it was really good game. Really good game.
Yes. But also it was the Capcom Ninja. Oh my goodness, why can't I
The
think of
Capcom
anything tonight?
Ninja.
Um,
Which one?
it was the oh my goodness, Strider.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so it looks like it's going to be in the vein of Strider, which I
Good.
adored.
Yeah.
Like that was like a 3-4 hour game. Like if you knew what you were doing.
Right. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm super excited to see Crazy Taxi. I mean, all of these are good. These are all franchises I love, but to see Crazy Taxi come back, I thought that's something they kind of just abandoned, and Jet Set Radio makes sense. Like we just got, like Hi-Fi Rush and these games that are sort of like spiritual successors to Jet Set Radio, and like games are or heavily inspired by them, and they did very, very well. And I think all of these franchises can hold up and do well in 2024 and beyond. So, Crazy Taxi, I'm just super excited about that one because I never thought we'd get anything else from it. I knew because of the music licensing that we pretty much weren't going to see any sort of like
Right.
remasters or ports brought to anything. I mean, you've got like big acts that are involved in the soundtracks of those games. Of course, like The Offspring is like the first one that comes to mind, but there's a lot of them. So, I don't know. It looks like not only 2023 is going to be a good year in gaming because we've got so much coming up. I mean, of course, GTA, which isn't till 2025, but we've got so much coming out as well that we know of right now. And like I'm
Yep.
thinking Metroid Prime 4 is going to be next year. If it isn't, then that makes no sense. But
I have so prediction. We'll get a Switch announcement in March,
yeah, that's
and
where I'm
then
at March as well.
Metroid 4 will probably be announced for that.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm not sure if I think that it's going to get announced with it. I think probably several months later, but maybe. Who knows? It could.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking an announcement in March. My thought is that the next big direct, which is usually in March, is when we're getting that announcement for the Switch 2. It'll be the final announcement, the very end of the direct, and like, oh, also, Switch's successor is coming out, and it will be available holiday 2024. So that's my thought on that. But I hope that's a really good launch for that system because the Switch launch was it was good
Switch launch
because
it was amazing that year.
we got Breath of the Wild.
We got Mario Odyssey.
We got Mario Odyssey. Okay, so it was a pretty good one. The Wii U launch
Yeah.
was really bad.
Yeah, the Wii U
Unfortunately.
launch was
I picked up all
not
the.
good.
It was so bad that I picked up every game that launched with it, and it was like nothing. There was like nothing there. Granted, I think we got 11 or 12 games on the eShop, but like as a physical launch, it was not good. So hopefully it's pretty good. Which of the Sega announcements would you say that you are most excited for?
Ooh, I probably Shinobi, honestly.
Really?
And that's probably because I'm also coming off of about a year ago. I went back and replayed Strider, and getting the platinum for that, and seeing that Shinobi's going to be another 2D Metroidvania. I'm also a sucker for 2D Metroidvanias. Like Hollow Knight is up there for me, along with a bunch of those. But I think like if I had to put them in order, it'd probably be like Shinobi, Crazy Taxi, and I'm curious to see where Streets of Rage is going to go, because it looked like a 3D brawler.
Yeah.
But also Streets of Rage 4 was awesome, still is awesome. I think Golden Axe I still have a little bit of bitterness from the PS2 remake, so it's like, okay. And then Jet Set Radio, like it's been re-released so many times, and it feels like lately other developers have done it better. And so
what else has it been re-released for? Was it
so
on that Dreamcast collection?
yeah, it was.
It was? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was on that it was on
So
the
have we
Dreamcast
gotten
collection.
anything for the previous gen?
We got it on PS3. We turned around, got it again on PS4. We turned around. It's
We
been
did
on
get it on
PC.
PS4?
I think I could be wrong, but I
Okay.
know we for sure. I see it on sale on PC all the time, and so and everybody keeps talking about Jet Set Radio. It's like, okay, like primarily because we had, what was it? It was an Xbox One title, Sunset Overdrive, that
Yeah.
everybody kept comparing back to Jet Set Radio, and then earlier, Hi-Fi, was it Hi-Fi Rush? Everybody compared Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
It's like,
yep.
okay, stop comparing stuff to Jet Set Radio. Just put out another one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wish we had gotten another one, like a sequel a while ago, but I'm looking forward to it. At least they're acknowledging that they want to check out their classic franchises, because I mean, like, Sonic Superstars didn't do well. We saw, I mean, Sega came out and said it sold less than we predicted. I didn't expect it to sell significantly well because it wasn't another Sonic Mania.
That's on my.
I love Sonic, so I was excited about it, but I did not see it selling well, and it sold significantly less than like Frontiers or even the game before that, 3D game before that, Forces.
Yeah, so looking at Superstars, because we also just got Origins earlier this year.
Yeah.
And then Origins Plus. And so with Superstars, Sonic's always been a gotta go fast.
Mm-hmm.
You put 4 people in the mix of that, it's going to get insane.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a great idea on paper, but also I heard like some of the level design wasn't as inspired. I mean, I've heard numerous like negatives.
Right.
I was like, you know what? Like, it will be in the $20 bargain bin by the middle of next year. So
yeah,
that's probably when I'll pick it up.
Right. So we've also got, what else? What do we have next? The finals. Embarks so I'll go ahead and reference.
Mm-hmm.
We streamed it live, but a lot of the stuff we kind of missed over. I mean, we were commentating the whole time and also in discussion, and a lot of it just we joked about a lot of things because like the cinematic trailers were ridiculous. I'll be honest, like a lot of things did not look good either. There was good announcements, a lot of them, but there was also like a lot of like, what the heck is this? Like, also there was a lot of online only games, a lot of these different things that just like does not personally interest me at all. But this looks like another one. So the finals, Embark's competitive shooter. So I guess Embark is a studio. This is one that we must have glossed over because it just did not.
This is it's a bunch of former Battlefield guys.
Okay.
And so I think that's probably also too because it just got shadow dropped, and it's like, wait, what? And so there was no hype or build up to it.
Right.
Which it's like, okay, yeah, what is this? It just feels like there's a lot of stuff that's come out, especially this generation. Yeah. I remember PS3 generation was guilty of this, whereas like, what is this? It looks just like this. It kind of bleeds in together, and that's just unfortunate for this game because it looks like it's going to be dead on arrival.
That's unfortunate. That's really.
And also, Lego Fortnite did not help it.
Yeah, Lego Fortnite. That's a whole other thing to talk about for sure. Yeah, I was looking over it again. It just doesn't look like something that's going to hold much water for very long for people. And I don't know anybody playing it today or yesterday. Mm-hmm. So
I've heard nothing.
Yeah, some of these are just, I don't know. The cinematic trailers really, really, really bothers me. So I think the finals, it looks like we got actual gameplay for. Just, I don't know. It doesn't look entirely appealing. But Hello Games announced their new game after No Man's Sky. So it looked pretty cool. This is one where me and Mark were sort of like, what the heck is this? Is this, because they were showing the whole like sort of No Man's Sky thing before and like stuff they worked on, things that came out recently in the VR mode. So we're like, what is this new DLC for No Man's Sky? And he's a big No Man's Sky fan. But yeah, it's actually their new game, Light No Fire, and it's an open world online multiplayer game. So another online only game. But this one looked pretty interesting. It kind of looked, we were joking a little on the graphical style, like it looked like a PS4, like Xbox One game, like early.
Yeah.
But it does look kind of cool. It does look kind of cool. So like, who knows where they're at with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer now, and it's like, okay, like I'm getting heavy Subnautica vibes, like in those first like opening cinematic, and
Yeah,
then it's
which
like,
is not
oh,
like
okay.
a good looking game particularly. It's interesting.
No, I love Subnautica, but
It's
it's like,
fun.
okay, like as I'm watching through the trailer, it's like, oh, this is kind of Fortnite-y. Like, it's one of
It
those
does
is
kind of
like
look like that, yeah.
you, it's like survive, build, craft, and then ride dragons. It's like, okay, there's a lot going on,
The instant
and
dragon they showed looked really appealing to me, but I love
yeah,
dragons, but that doesn't mean anything. There's been a lot of bad games with dragons or centered around dragons, so
yeah, it's one of those like, okay, like this could go one of two ways, and it took them a long time for No Man's Sky to get fire under its
oh
feet.
god, yeah. Like 2 years, I think, or something
Yeah,
like
and I
that. So hopefully this
yeah,
doesn't launch like No Man's Sky, because
yeah,
people there was a lot of backlash on that game early on.
right.
So yeah, looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. Got Final Fantasy 16 DLC announced. So this is good news, especially if you're a Final Fantasy 16 fan. What's your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I haven't heard much good about it yet because I think it's split up into two parts, if I'm correct. But the first part, some people are like, "Ooh, like this, they could have just
16?
done without 16." Yeah, the DLC is two waves of DLC.
Oh yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
so the first DLC already dropped, and the second
Oh, it
DLC is
did.
coming.
Okay, I see that
For,
now. Actually, all right.
yeah, and then so and of course paid DLC, but which yeah, it's like Final Fantasy 15 all over again,
Yeah.
where that story was a mess, and
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten to play through 16 a lot, just with friends. But from what I understand, the story's kind of all over the place, and they're hoping the DLC fixes that. And it did
I
not do
hope.
that with 15 too well. Like
Yeah, people
so,
are pretty disappointed with 16. It got kind
yeah,
of looked over quick. Like as a month after it came out, nobody was talking about it anymore. And we were
right.
talking
It
about this
dropped.
last night. It's like it's a very, very, very dark take, and I like dark takes on stuff, and I like
Mhm.
dark games. But it's a very dark Games of Thrones esque game, and it
Yeah,
is just not that whimsical sort of Final Fantasy game. Like 15 was more realistic and all that stuff, but it still had very whimsical elements. Was still very silly, at times. It
yeah.
still had that light humor that Final Fantasy is known to have with games since like 10.
Yeah,
Realistically, all of them since especially like 7 really started that sort of humor. Doesn't take itself too seriously, but
well,
16 was a
we
new
really saw
take.
that. Like, I could get into a whole podcast on its own about this, but like, we saw four like be the real story like direction, and then it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of continued that trend. And then like once we saw 11 is like, okay, now it's this MMO, and then we're trying to backpedal from MMO. By the
Yep.
way, we're doing this horrible game. Like it's like
Yep.
it's had its like it has its roots in RPGs, but it's like they want to push it beyond that turn-based strategy because
Yeah.
people are tired of turn-based strategies. Well, people say they're tired of turn-based
Yeah. It's
strategies,
coming back around, man. It's
and
coming
then
back
they release
around.
something like this, and people are like, "No, we didn't want this. Like, bring us back classic Final Fantasy."
Yeah.
And it's why the Pixel remaster's done so well because it's
People
that classic
people are
Final
getting
Fantasy.
back. Like these new generations are actually now getting into turn-based games, and they're doing very
Yeah,
well. They're doing very well. I
yeah.
mean, we've
Sea
got
of Stars, Mario RPG.
those 16-bit style games that look beautiful. What are I can't remember the name of them. We just got a second one this year in the franchise. I
Yeah,
forget. Yeah, that those games, like there's so many of them. Yeah, Sea of Stars is like a giant example, but they're coming back. But I think the game it's just it doesn't have a great story. I think the combat system is very, 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 very tiresome. Like I felt exhausted with it playing it.
yeah.
I so much so that I had to turn on things in the menu such as assists and things because it was just exhausting. Like I physically felt exhausted playing the game. I
Yeah.
don't know what it was. The combat system to me was exhausting, but I like the dark take sort of thing. But I think that come 17 that we're going to see them move away from that, because I have noticed that a lot of games that get these dark takes end up not doing well. Like things that turn really dark that weren't originally dark at all. They don't do
You
well.
can do that, and they've done that.
Yes.
Which, like, so Final Fantasy Tactics is a perfect example.
Yeah.
That game starts out like, okay, like bright, colorful, and then just like all of a sudden it gets dark.
An amazing game
too. But the thing is, like, it stays in that darkness, but the world around is bright. And it seems like ever since the PS3 generation, everything's been brown. And when we do get games that are colorful and popping, they don't have the story behind it. Or we get games that have a story behind it and there's no color, and so it's an immediate turn off. Yeah. And if they just would have put this in this bright world, like give me everything like Final Fantasy, like calm back on the combat, because it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I couldn't get past the first couple hours because of the combat. Yeah. Like, loved Final Fantasy VII as a teenager, but it really showed, like, when they changed the combat, that it's like, okay, this is so much about, let's try to make this stuff modern, and like, we're going to give you a great story, but we're going to give you this modern gameplay, but the modern gameplay detracts away from the story.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what made those classic Final Fantasies, to me at least, was there's a story, I have this goal and objective, but I got to get stronger to do that. And I do that by like turning my brain off and grinding for a little bit and then going back. Oh, that boss is too hard. Let me turn my brain off, grind for a little bit, go back. And now it's like, I got to focus on so many button inputs and so much stuff instead of just
the
like
combos and all that jazz.
Instead of just mashing X and just like blazing through.
Yep. I mean, we even got, Super Mario RPG this year. I'm telling you, the turn-based...
Which wasn't up for anything.
Yeah, it wasn't up for anything. It also had just came out. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. The next one I'm very excited about. Now, here's a dark take game that I think looks amazing. We already knew about the game, Rise of the Ronin, but we got to see some more actual in-depth stuff on it. So this is Team Ninja's upcoming new open-world samurai game. And we got to see a lot of this at the Game Awards. This looks phenomenal. I love open world games if they're done right and the open world is not empty and bare and there's stuff to do. But I love open world. One of my favorite types of games now usually they take a lot of time, so I'm doing very, very slow. And it's something I'll play maybe all year, in between other shorter games and stuff like that. But this looks cool, and I like samurais. I like, ancient Tokyo and ancient Japan in general. So I think this is really cool. I think this looks really awesome. It looks like a lot of fun, and Team Ninja usually does pretty good stuff. So.
Yeah, like, I'm just watching through the trailer. I'm like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima. And it's like, because that was a game that did open world. It did open world really well, and like when you're watching through the trailer, there's like a guy gliding and stuff like that. It's like, oh, they figured out how to take Ghost of Tsushima and mix it with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm on board. Let's go.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is a really fun game, man. Really, really fun game.
Yeah.
I played through it twice. I played the release version, then I played the PS5 release of it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I played the director's cut, and I'm glad I waited.
Yeah, it's cool. A lot of improvements on that PS5 release. So another game that we knew about a very, very, very long time ago, Skull and Bones, got a release date finally. The pirate game that promised to be the pirate of all pirates, essentially. It looks cool. Looks like they took a lot of cues from the Xbox game. What's it? Why can't I think of it? Sea of Thieves. Looks like they took some cues from that, because that did very well. But it looks cool. I was never really super excited about it. I'm not really super into pirates myself. It just was never a concept I really got into. But I'll definitely try this.
So This was announced in 2017.
Yeah, that's what I said a long time ago. A long
Like,
time ago. Yeah, I knew about
yeah.
this. We thought it got canceled, and then it got brought up again at some point, like 2021.
This
So
game
yeah,
has such a super interesting story because it was supposed to be a spin-off of Black Flag, which I loved Black Flag.
I didn't know
That
that
game was
part.
awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
So like even when they announced it, like yeah, inspired by the world of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and so that was 2017. Black Flag came out at launch in 2013. So here we are now, 10 years removed.
Alright, that's what I'm telling you. We talked about it earlier, and it's just the case. Like, they do this, and I don't know why.
Yep.
So who's the developer on this one? Do you
This is Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Okay, yeah, sounds about right. So, sounds like an Ubisoft tactic. So we'll see, I guess. But makes sense on the Black Flag sort of concept, running with that. I guess going full fledged into things that Black Flag didn't do. So yeah, I don't know. I'll check it out, but I'm not like overly excited about it. I wasn't really super excited about it when they announced it, but I give everything a go that I can, so I'll definitely check it out. So we had Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Some of these I really honestly myself don't have anything to say about. It's a Life is Strange type of game from the creators. I'm not a fan. I don't like those type of games. So what do you think?
It's so like watching the trailer, I really don't have an opinion on it just because I didn't get into Life is Strange. I started it
It's also another
and
cinematic trailer, so I can't really comment
yeah,
on it. Like,
well, and Life is Strange, like
it's a
it really doesn't
cinematic
have.
game. Yeah,
It's a cinematic game, yeah, and so it's like okay, like it's nice if you just want a story and if you
yeah,
just want to sit there and enjoy the story. Uh, and I get like why they like pulled back on details and why they gave us what they did in the cinematics,
yeah.
but it's like at the same time it's like okay, like we've been getting a lot of these, and I think it's just kind of what we were talking about earlier, where it's like man, there's just so much coming out that stuff's just getting lost in the weeds,
Right.
and like man, like it's late 2024, which is great, but show us like just don't say anything about it for like another 6 months and then show us more.
I'm with you. I don't have too much to say on that. I don't know. It's not my type of game, and it's not something I'm looking forward to. But we
Yeah.
did get an announcement that was a complete surprise right after that. I'm super excited for. That is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So this is another Dragon Ball fighting game. It looks really, really, really good. Yeah, it's essentially a Tenkaichi game, and we knew about that before, but it didn't have an actual title.
hmm
Yeah, looks cool. So it's not directly just a Tenkaichi game, apparently, but it is very, very heavily inspired by those games. I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to it. It's another Dragon Ball Z fighter. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I haven't been to Dragon Ball since like Budokai. So,
Well, this is it. I
um,
mean, Budokai Tenkaichi. There you go. It's
yeah,
gonna be
and
one of the
it's
style
just
games.
like I've played Fighter Z or Fighters with a few friends, and it's like okay, cool. Like I dip in and out. Like I see like Dragon Ball now, like in pop culture, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like Goku's hair is blue now. I'm like, oh, it's white, and so it's like, okay, cool. Like, there's stuff going on. Like, but it's like, oh, it's 20 episodes where they're just screaming. Okay, cool. Like I'll catch up.
They're
Like
powering up
YouTube.
for 4 episodes.
Yeah, it's like okay, I'll just watch a YouTube video when the whole thing's done and get caught up then.
There you go. All right. So we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can go ahead and talk about all the things from this part now. The Fortnite stuff. Again, I'm not a Fortnite player, so I've got very
So
minimal to say about any of it. But I
the
might check it out.
trailer. Okay, have you seen the trailer yet?
Yes, they showed it at the Game Awards. Yeah.
Okay, so like they released another trailer, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of my jam." Where it's just a like arcade style racer
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
with that Mario Kart 8 twist, where you're like flipping up and down. I'm like, okay, like I might be downloading Fortnite again. Uh, like I'm a sucker for a good racer, and it's like we've gotten a lot of them, but it's like okay, this might be up my alley.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I of course, like, we got the announcement right before on Lego Fortnite, so we can go talk on that. And I guess there's some, I forget what the title of it is, but there's like Guitar Hero thing for Fortnite too.
I don't remember hearing anything about that, but I can take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, well, Lego Fortnite looks cool. I mean, like I said, I'm not a Fortnite player. We talk about Fortnite enough that you would think that I am, but I played it when it very, very, very first came out, before it is what it is now, and
Okay.
it was kind of cool then. But
Okay, so if you have a Rock Band controller laying around, you can plug it in and
yeah,
use it in Fortnite.
isn't that crazy?
Like it's a Fortnite festival where they basically just added Guitar Hero support.
Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. If you're a Fortnite fan, sounds like something you might want to check out. The Lego Fortnite stuff looks really cool. It might pull me in to check it out. Maybe I like Lego a lot. It looks cutesy and I don't know. Might be cool.
So Lego Fortnite, I actually helped a friend out with some news stories, pulling for like he's got a new show, and asked me, he's like, "Hey, can you like do a day for me?" I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I pulled it, and Lego Fortnite had more concurrent players than any game mode combined in a single day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so it's like, holy crap. And I think it's $20 for Lego Fortnite.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that might be
So,
interesting to check out. We've got some news stuff coming up, so we're going to be covering some various news here real soon. So that'll be fun to be able to talk about some of the things, because we can't cover everything with the podcast.
oh no.
Plus, not everybody watches a live show or listens to podcasts, so it'll be cool to do standard style YouTube videos to talk about some of that. Looking now, like you were talking about, we got all the news before the Game Awards, and then
Yeah.
we got this drop, and it's just like a big week, and there's a lot of big weeks this year, so
Yeah.
it'll be cool.
Oh, correction. Lego Fortnite's free to play.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I was looking at costumes.
Oh. See, I don't know anything about it, so I can't particularly comment on it.
It looked fun though. I saw swords and I was like, ooh. So I'm like, okay, maybe.
Swords. So we've also got No Rest for the Wicked, which is from the developers of Ori and the Blind Forest and Will-O-Wisp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of those games. I got nothing from this trailer personally. I felt nothing when I watched it. It looks fine.
It was a cinematic.
Yeah,
it was cinematic. It's
I
supposed to be like what Diablo, but like yeah, I'm with you. It'd be nice to know more, but it's supposed to be like an 18 and up Diablo style, which I just feel like we've gotten so much like dark action RPGs like this, where it's like be nice to get more Torchlight in my life.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, Jay? Thanks for popping in. I was on his show last night, so appreciate it. Yeah, it looks okay. It's hard to comment on something with cinematic trailers. I don't know.
Yeah.
It starts to blend together with all those cinematics. I'd love to see more gameplay, but it is what it is. We've also got... Oh, this one looks kind of cool to me. I skipped over BioWare's new RPG they announced. I don't know. Exodus. Are you a BioWare fan? You like Mass Effect?
Used to be.
Okay. Yeah,
Used
that's
to
where
be.
I'm at. Used to be. I just don't care anymore.
I learned after Mass Effect.
Oh, you froze. So we'll go ahead and talk on... I guess we'll go ahead and get
I was like, okay, when Andromeda came out, I was like, I'm gonna hold off, and that's kind of. I'm glad I held off on Andromeda, and I'm holding off on this one again.
Yeah, I felt nothing when I watched it, if I'm just being real with you.
I mean, it's
We'll
back
see.
to okay. Cinematics are great, but show me something. Like,
Yeah.
give me something to get excited about. Like, that was nothing, honestly.
Yeah, I just don't like cinematic trailers like 99% of the time. But this other game, so this is one I'm looking forward to. This looks like a really quirky, fun, just silly game. I'm a big fan of Untitled Goose Game. So it's that developer, and it's called Big Walk. It looks silly. It looks ridiculous, absurd. Don't really understand what's going on, so that makes me even more interested to check it out. It looks like, the sort of like family friendly, just fun, silly game. I had no idea what's going on in the trailer, but it looks cool. Untitled Goose Game is fun, but we do know it's not dropping until 2025, so that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, and we'll see more about it soon, hopefully, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking just at the trailer and I'm like, okay, this is kind of like the Witness.
Craig, you're telling me you didn't already watch this trailer before for Big Walk?
No, I did, and I couldn't tell you what the heck was going on during it, and now I'm watching it again, and I'm like, I still can't tell you what the heck's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in it either. It looks interesting though. It looks like it's one of those games where I don't know that you really gotta know what's going on. You just jump into it and you sort of figure it out, and none of it makes sense. And it gave me like weird, obviously not in the style of gameplay, but for some reason when I see games like this, I get drawn to thinking about like Loco Roco and Patapon and stuff like that, or like World of Goo, like some of those type of games where they're just super silly, don't make any sense, don't need a story, and you just play. It's just about the gameplay.
I've been noticing a big theme with a lot of these, and maybe this is just because we've been like my wife and I have been reviewing a lot of kids games lately, but the trailers for kids games do a great job of like breaking up the action with text and just being like boom, like 4-player multiplayer, like. And I'm not seeing any of this. It is all cinematic. And I'm like, that's probably why I'm not getting excited, because you're not telling, you're showing. Now, showing's fine, but you're not really showing me anything to get excited about. Like, like, okay, creators of the Untitled Goose Game. Cool. So I know it's going to probably be wacky, but you're not telling me much more than that. And
right.
It's unfortunate, like, that's the direction a lot of these trailers have gone with the Game Awards.
Yeah, it is. It is unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate. But what do we got next?
Is it Kimori? I don't even know how to say that. Like, it's from a new studio, Unseen, and it's like some sort of wacky multiplayer. Like, I don't even know what it is. It's, again, I hate saying I don't even know what it is. We just know it's some sort of action game by a brand new studio that it's called, and it's supposed to be bright and colorful, which is a nice change of pace, but at the same time it's like, what the heck is this game about?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, this is another cinematic trailer. So Nakamura's studio. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it. So yeah, we got, again, nothing that I particularly care about myself, but we got an announcement for a Dead by Daylight spinoff. Yeah, are you a fan of Dead by Daylight?
I'm not. I haven't really gotten into horror games lately, just because with 2 small kids that are like afraid of everything, and also I really didn't do horror growing up, but I played Dead Space for the first time like a couple of years ago and screamed like a little girl, and so but like, it's some mild horror, but especially now with the kids being as young as they are, I try to stay away from it. That way they don't walk in and it's going to be a long night if they do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next one, this is funny. So this game, Jurassic Park Survival, it looks basically just like the first Jurassic Park movie, beat for beat. You're surviving from the dinosaurs. It wants to be Dino Crisis, but it also wants to be the Jurassic Park movie, and that's what I got from it. So I love Jurassic Park, but it literally just looked like you're playing through the first movie in first person and trying to stay away from the dinosaurs. That's it.
That's
all I got for it.
Again, like, we got we were showed, but we weren't told anything.
Yeah.
And like, if this is something along the veins of like Subnautica, I'd be in. Like craft, survive, like stay away from the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like and survive to like a certain amount of days of situation.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
you know, we,
Yeah.
we weren't told anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have been cool if it was like a Dino Crisis style game, which I mean, it feels like that is kind of what it's trying to do in first person, like mix Jurassic Park with that sort of thing. Oh, I accidentally hit that on there. But yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know, man. It looked like the first movie, so that's all I know about it.
Yeah, like, and watching the trailer, I was like, wait, did they just literally beat for beat the entire first movie? And that's exactly what they did.
That's what it looked like. Another announcement we got, which I'm extremely excited for, because I'm a big fan of the series, Visions of Mana. This is a brand new game, so this isn't just another remake. Which Trials of Mana was great. I loved it. Good remake.
Yep.
But this looks awesome. Brand new game. A series that I think from Square is a little underrated. I feel like it's just not talked about.
Well, and I think it's very telling how much you can kind of see them dipping their toes back into Mana, because they did the Mana collection on Switch, which sold well.
Yeah.
Trials of Mana, which sold well, and then Legends of Mana, which why we never got a physical copy in the U.S. I don't understand, but apparently it did well, which probably was my favorite of that entire series.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, bring back like the Game Boy Advance remake, bring back that PS Vita remake that you put on PS Vita and Android. Like, give us that again. I'm stoked. I love the Mana series, like you said.
Me too. It looks really good. It looks really good. Yeah. So I'm excited. I hope it, reaches a broader audience with the series. And I feel like Trials of Mana must have did good enough for them, and the Mana collection must have at least sold enough for them to want to dip their toes back into the series with a brand new entry. I love it. I love the classic games, and I love that Trials game. So this looks phenomenal. It's unfortunately isn't just going to be on current gen hardware. It's going to be on last gen. So
so looking at it graphically, this is one of those where I kind of don't mind it. I'm actually surprised it's not coming to Switch, but it makes sense why it's coming
to Switch. Yeah.
But like looking at it like harder, like looking at the graphics and the details, like okay, like it looks like this started on PS4, and it's interesting that they completely. I love they've abandoned Xbox One. Like Square is not doing anything.
Care. I love
like everything that's come out that's been like PS. It's like if you go back and look, everything that's been PS4, PS5, there's no Xbox One. It's just Xbox Series, and so it's like
I've noticed that lately. Yeah, that's interesting.
So, but it's interesting looking at this and then seeing like, oh wait, we got like Romancing Saga. We've gotten a bunch of Saga games. We've gotten a bunch of like that stuff coming back. I wonder if there's going to be a new Saga game that we're going to end up getting as well.
That'd be cool. I'd be all on board for that, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah. You know what I'd love to see, completely off topic? I want to see, I believe we got a collection, which I never picked up. I think. I could be wrong. Maybe it was a new entry that I'm not aware of. But the Dot Hack games, I really love those games.
We got the second one. What was it? The second, it was a trilogy? Because the first one was 4 games. We never got 4 games. But we got the second. But we got the second set of those games.
Oh, okay.
And those came to Those came to PS4 as one.
Oh, well, see, I'm a little out of the loop then. I need to catch up.
One of those I got excited about because I was like, all right, I'm going to replay these. Downloaded it or bought it, downloaded it, and never even touched it because I was like, okay, this is a long series or long haul.
Okay, well, I was gonna just reference a few comments that we got. Somebody said Jurassic Park sucks. Stop being boring. Hello, evening peoples, Lurgitus. What's going on? Omega said, hey, and when are we getting a Sonic movie interviewer? I don't know. I can't answer that. I've been asking for a while, and I know some people, but it is hard to do that sort of stuff. And it wouldn't be for the podcast. It would just be a video. But yeah, maybe stuff like that'll happen. There's a few voice actors I know. I just don't know what the interest level, to be honest with you, right now would be for the general population of people watching. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe something like
I think
that.
it's a little. I think also it's a little too early. We just came out of the big strikes, and so
Yep. So we will see. We will see. So we've also got, what did we get after that? We got the Hellblade Senua's Saga. Or Saga. I have not played Hellblade, so I'm not sure on this one. I think it was cinematic again for this, if I remember correctly. It may have showed gameplay. I don't know, but
it did, yeah. And I mean, it's the first game for those, like, if you're a fan of that game, like,
people love it. I know that people love it.
Yeah, I was not in a good mental space for it when I first tried it, and so I just haven't gotten back to it. But I've heard, like, you just need to be in
mentally sound.
Good. Well, I wouldn't say mentally sound. You just need to be just because you're not going to be happy by the time you're done with that.
Right on.
And I was like, okay, I got, but I am excited. Brothers Tale of Two Sons is getting remade.
I saw that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think that's pretty neat.
So that, if I remember right, the original was short.
Super short game, like 4 hours. Yeah, I think I beat it in 4 hours.
Yeah, and I remember just going back playing it and being like, when I was done, I was like, oh, that's that was quick.
It seems like all of their games, because they did a Way Out as well, and It Takes Two. None of those games are long at all. None of those games are very long. So,
which I like short games, but I do
too. I do too.
I like knowing it's going to be a shorter game before I hop into it blind. Yeah,
and it's this if it's like full $70 price, though, I'm not particularly fond of like a $70 4-hour experience myself. So we'll see. But this would be cool to grab for like $20 and check out. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool to reach a new audience with that. This one I just don't care. Former Payday developer, new game Den of Wolves. I got nothing from it myself.
Yeah,
me and Mark were like, "What is going on?" when we were watching it, and I'm like, I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's there, but I liked Payday 2. I didn't get into Payday 3, and so I don't know if it's gonna be more like that. What's, like you said, what's going on? So I guess we'll find out more eventually.
Yeah. We also got Black Myth Wukong, which looked kind of interesting. I thought it was like I don't know, the Monkey King.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
Something along those lines. Yeah,
it looks pretty neat. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. What'd you think?
Oh,
looks like we lost him again. We also got Tales of Zanzera.
If you're not looking for it, if you're not looking for like the Monkey King stuff, like there's a show on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, we lost him again. So Tales of Zanzera Zao reveal trailer.
It's
oh, you're back. You keep cutting in and out. We keep losing you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you're frozen. You're good.
I don't know. My internet's fine.
So yeah, the Tales of Zanzera Zao, a stylish-looking 2D side-scroll. I thought this game did not look great to me. I don't know. I don't know. It could be cool. I got like old school like Prince of Persia sort of vibes from it and stuff like that. So it could be cool. I like the setting. I believe it's in South Africa. I believe it's like African lore sort of thing. Yeah. So that could be cool because we don't see a lot of stuff from that. But the game did not. I just felt like it didn't look great. So
I wasn't. Man, we still have more to go over. It's like, holy crap! I was just looking at what's left.
We'll have to sort of glide over some of it because we still had other news and stuff. So
yeah, I mean we can rapid fire it if you want to. Just
we'll rapid fire some of this other stuff. Outlast Trials look like it's pretty cool. It's coming to consoles. I like the Outlast games. They're horrifying and scary, and sometimes I like that. I'm in the mood for that, so those look pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Kind of scrolling down. Zenless. This one you and I were kind of talking about a little bit. Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah.
Like, a mech game is like, okay, like what's up with that? Like,
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Looked pretty cool.
yeah. And
Didn't
it's gonna
get to see
be
a
PC
ton
and
about
Mac.
it, but yeah, that. Well, let's see. I don't really play PC. That's the other thing when I saw it. But maybe
Yeah.
some point. Maybe at some
Yeah, and
point
then
when, you know.
yeah, and then like on the mech theme, Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. Then we got Mecha Break, which is another mech game that's like, okay, we're getting a lot of mech stuff
It
this year.
seems like it. Yeah. First Descendant, which that was another, I believe, cinematic trailer, so I didn't get a ton from that myself. But nothing big, obviously, but Guilty Gear Strive adding another character, which is cool because the game's been out for a while, and I'm a big fan. I still pop that in and play it every now and then. Again, I love that series. Yeah, what else did we get that's like pretty significant? A lot of very small stuff. World of Goo 2. We got World of Goo 2. I actually like World of Goo, so that might be fun. It's crazy that first game came out in 2008. 2008.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it's been that long. So
And it
that's interesting.
keeps getting ported.
It does keep getting ported. You're right. Yeah. Man, yeah. Well, some of the I don't even recognize. Like it was so rapid fire on a few things there in the show that like you just didn't get to see much. But
Yeah, and I think what was the last thing? It was a new StarCraft-like Stormgate from the original
yeah.
StarCraft team. Yeah.
that could be cool.
So I mean, oh, Asgard's Wrath 2. That was like the one that I was like, oh yeah. Like, wait, that's just coming to the MetaQuest, not to anything else. Okay.
All right, you pull on to the next thing on here with what we got in news. Give me just a quick second. I have to move this real quick.
Yeah, so we were talking about Lego Fortnite and how that's just kind of been taking over the gaming space the past couple of days. So yeah, in case you missed it earlier, Lego Fortnite, when it on its launch day, it's free to play. Just another game mode on top of Lego, but it superseded every other Fortnite gameplay mode. And the trailer looks wild. I think personally the trailer kind of hit me. Just curious what the chat's thoughts on Lego Fortnite are, because I kind of got a little excited. Like at first I was like, I groaned. I was like, oh my gosh, Lego Fortnite, really? And then it was like, oh, like this is a little bit more than I thought it was gonna be. And so yeah, it's a entirely new gameplay mode. Yeah, I can't complain too much about it because I haven't played it yet. But as we were talking about the Game Awards, Hogwarts Legacy was voted out of the Player's Choice Award, which I know that definitely has this fan base. Then moving on, we had some PC Xbox news. Starfield climbed up to 12 million players, and Phil Spencer believed it has a Skyrim-like lifespan. So if anybody here is playing Starfield, just with the mod scene, kind of makes sense why that would last as long as it's did. So, yeah, I was just kind of recapping some of the news that we've had this week, and then, hey.
Nope, cut out again. Starfield climbs to 12 million players. Believes it can
Brandon, you froze. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you froze up there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just talking about Starfield at 12 million players, and Phil Spencer believes it can last 10 years like Skyrim.
Yeah, maybe if it turns around. Maybe. Yeah, we were talking about it last night. That game just, I don't know, for me, and a lot of people, it's just a big disappointment. But I mean, it could pull a turn around, have big massive updates like a Cyberpunk-esque deal to it. I could definitely see that, where it gets like a huge 2.0 and a whole huge expansion. So I would definitely not write it off, but for me it would, at launch it was, gosh, a massive disappointment. So
Yeah, it was. But I mean, it has its fans,
It
and
does, yeah.
kind of like Skyrim, there's a mod scene for it. So we'll see. It's one of those not for me. At such a place in my life. I need shorter experiences, and I just can't get into something that long.
Yeah. Yep, I feel it. I feel it. Looks like we got also Halo Infinite's King of the Hill twist on Firefight Co-op arrives on December 5th.
Yep.
So that already happened 5 days ago. So that's cool, and I like to see that Infinite, regardless of my sort of thoughts on it, again at launch, that it's still receiving support as it should, because it was kind of built to be like a long-term Halo experience. So
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Bethesda,
and Bethesda's doing paid Skyrim mods, which everybody turned around and made their mods for free.
oh, okay. What? So they dropped the paid mods for free, essentially, like you can access.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of like big Skyrim modders,
Mm-hmm.
and when Bethesda's like, okay, now all these mods, like you can pay for them.
Okay.
So the big Skyrim modders were like, no, like we don't want people to pay for these, and Bethesda keeps profit, and we get nothing. So they just turn around and set the price of their mods for free, and so
That's
like,
funny. That is
oh,
funny. Oh my gosh. So, Universal Studios, the Super Nintendo World, which I plan to try to visit this upcoming year. I'm going to try to get a big bunch of the Game Junction community that's been talked about here for the past like 3 months and try to get some people together to go out at some point. But it looks like they're going to be adding Donkey Kong Country. So that's cool because I want Donkey Kong to get some representation, and the fact it's kind of built around country is interesting. I wonder if they'll do anything there, like some sort of, because they have like the cafes and stuff for Mario, like all these sort of themed places. If they'll do anything with like the original Donkey Kong, like so there's like a little area for it or something. That'd be
yeah,
cool.
that'd be really cool. Yeah, we're trying to plan a trip next year to go to Universal Florida for Super Nintendo World, and I'm kind of hoping like by the time we get to it, Donkey Kong will be there. And if they do, I better be able to buy a banana split with the little DK logo on the banana. Like,
yeah, we're gonna try to plan a time sometime next year as well. Looking for the cheapest time to try to go out and things like that, so we can get a few people
hurricane
together.
season. That's the time to go.
Okay, well there we go. We'll be there during the hurricanes. College professor uses Tears of the Kingdom to teach an engineering class. What is the backstory on this one?
So I pulled this article because I was trying to find news that nobody was really talking about this week, and I was like, okay, this is just kind of shows how far Tears of the Kingdom has come. Like in a short span, just how much engineering you can actually do in that game. Like, and I know people are still coming up with solutions for like puzzles and stuff, and so it's been a wild year for that game.
Yeah, it looks like a University of Maryland. That's cool, man. I like that. That's really, really cool. The class title was The Legend of Zelda: A Link to Machine Design. I love it. I want that to be a real game though. Let's get it. It can be like a new CDI release or something.
Or do what's the game? Bridge Builder? Like do that, but
is it Bridge Construct? Big.
Yes. Yeah. Bridge Constructor. Yes.
Bridge Constructor. I don't know why I can't say that time. Bridge Constructor. Yeah, because it got that Portal expansion. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah. I played the heck out of that.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's cool. I always love seeing video games, especially in like adult classes, being used in some sort of capacity. I like that because video games, I mean, there's such a variety of games. There's so many different types of even mainstream games that teach stuff like that in some sort of sector. So that's pretty cool stuff. Batman Arkham Trilogy on Switch sounds like a disaster. So I have followed a good bit of this, and frame rate issues. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like surprised with this at all. I'm not even remotely surprised.
So
that the Switch port is having some issues.
my wife and I kind of covered this in our write up on it. It's on the cartridge. It's only Batman
Yeah.
Arkham
Yep.
Asylum.
Yep. Which is stupid.
So, which kills resale value. But at the same time, too, it's like somebody took the PC port, and actually, no, it looks like somebody tried porting the PS3 version of
Yes.
Asylum, and then just tried to like put Arkham Knight on low settings, everything. And it's the same thing with Borderlands 3. They kind of did the same thing with the Switch port of that, which is unfortunate because it's like they could have really put some time and energy to it. But like the telltale sign was this originally was supposed to come out in October and then got pushed back. And so it looks like they should have just pushed it back even further because it's
Yeah.
going to take a long time. Like it, especially the Arkham Knight, like the Batmobile scene, like that first hour looks like trash on the Switch.
Yeah, so I'm friends with some of the guys that are in the digital foundry space and community, and they covered this, and they cover all this sort of stuff like this, especially ports that people either think won't work or have issues, or like, you know, like some of the ports like The Witcher on Switch and things like that, games of that caliber, and yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's unfortunate because these games are great. I also think it's kind of silly that they sort of left out. Which of the main games did they leave out? Was it Origin?
Origins, but Origins wasn't made by.
Yeah, it wasn't the same developer.
Rocksteady,
right?
And then also the Blackgate game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, Blackgate. So that's one of my favorites because I love that game. I'm a big fan.
I do too.
I played on Vita and 3DS.
Really, and the same game. People that made that one made the Castlevania Metroidvania style for 3DS.
Yes,
that was
Lords of Shadow, Mirrors of Fate. Yep. So played that as well. Yeah, this is unfortunate because they're really good games, and it could have gave more people access to it that, younger people that didn't get to play the games or whatever, and
$60 was a lot to ask.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is, like you're paying $20 for $20 a piece for 3 games that have been out for over 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case for a lot of those collections that drop at that sort of price. It's 3 games. Some collections do it right and have a buttload of games. Like, I think for the most part, the Metal Gear Solid collection sort of did it right, and it had 6 games on there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's unfortunate. We've got the PlayStation
really
Access controller is one step away for Sony, one giant leap for players with disabilities. I am happy that they're doing this. I don't know the full context on this, but I've seen the controller many times.
Yeah, and you've seen the Microsoft one that they came out with, which I think is awesome. It's why is it taking Sony this long?
Yeah, I don't know, because they don't care.
I
mean, look where we're at with Sony.
But it's just looking at The Last of Us 2 remastered. It's okay, obviously you just got.
I was shocked to see that God of War Ragnarok DLC was free. I was shocked, very shocked, because Sony.
I think part of that is the flack they've been getting. It's what it felt like.
Probably, and I mean, as they should. But I mean, all these adaptive type controllers are very necessary and very good, and we've been getting them for systems now for a little while. There's companies that would make these sort of adaptive type controllers for systems years and years ago. Like we even had, there's even a Nintendo 64 one, and there was Sony PS2 one that weren't made by Sony or Nintendo. So I think this is great that the studios are stepping up to do this, but I don't know why it's taken so long, because Microsoft had that one out pretty quick for the Series X launch. It wasn't long after that I remember seeing it up on sale for the store, and I honestly thought about just grabbing those because I thought it would be pretty neat to check out and see what people are able to do, and also I just think they're cool, and it's neat. It's very neat. So.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind doing a small video on it, short or something. I think they're pretty cool, and I think even stuff can probably be done with it too. That's not really meant to be done with it because they very much are adaptive. So I could see other use cases potentially for people doing
so
things.
I've thought about just like for some games doing challenges, like playing the original Super Mario Brothers with a Guitar Hero controller, stuff like that.
Oh,
Just
I've
something
done that
stupid.
sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, like, and I thought about picking up the adaptive controller just for that reason. Like, I can only use my feet situation, just to
That's
show
weird,
like
man.
not just it can
That's
only be.
weird. Why are we talking about feet? I'm just kidding. We know you're a foot guy. We know.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
but yeah. So, Last of Us 2 remastered trailer showed off a new no return mode. So it's like, okay, we're not just getting the same game over a little bit.
I want to shout out. We got Bruce in the chat, said amazing. We got Gunther in here as well. I said hey, or said yo. Also said do a Power Glove playthrough.
I would totally do that. Like
I would
of several games, if I can find a full working Power Glove.
So big shout out to Gunther. He does a live stream because he works with Old School Gamer Magazine. So great guy. If you are not subscribed, go subscribe. Check out Old School Gamer Magazine. We have also got The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered trailer shows off roguelike no return mode.
Yep.
Yeah, because we kind of talked about some of The Last of Us Part 2 remake stuff before. They're adding a little bit more than I think people are sort of giving credit to or talking about. Because I was looking through it, outside of just like the changes with it's a remake supposedly, outside of just or remaster, sorry. Outside of just the performance and visual stuff, they are adding some other stuff. If I was looking through it, and I think I read off about 6 things total that were sort of being done with it. And I think the whole music guitar thing is a little odd. I don't really get it. But maybe maybe I'll get it when I try it, but I don't understand. However, I don't know. Like, am I overly excited for this? No. I'm gonna try to find this at a deal for like, $30, maybe tops. Like, I'm not crazy excited about this at all. But I like the game. I like the game and the stuff added, the new things. I would like to check out, but.
Well, and we kind of talked about this last week, where we got The Last of Us Part 1 remake after The Last of Us Part 1 remake after The Last of Us Part 1. And it's like, we've seen The Last of Us now on 3 console generations. The first game, and it's like, good freaking grief. Like, can we just let this series breathe a little bit?
Yeah.
And
which
I get they're adding stuff.
Plus the TV series.
Plus the TV series. It's like, you guys could have just done this as DLC and like called it a day. Like, or not even do a remaster, do a director's cut like you did with Ghost of Tsushima. Like, it's just it's here.
I don't get the guitar free play mode though. I don't understand. Speedrun mode is kind of cool though. I think that's neat that they're gonna cater to speedrunners and have an actual mode for that. It looks like the enhanced visuals are supposed to be pretty significant according to them or what's been shared, and the frame rate is finally capped. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not overly excited for this or care too much, but yeah, I don't know. Dragon Age Dead Wolf isn't getting revealed until summer 2024. What's the backstory on this one?
So the next Dragon Age game, they've already like, look, we're not showing off anything until 2024, and everybody that's like sick of stuff getting revealed and not talked about is just rejoiced. So
I honestly didn't even know that we actually had a new confirmed Dragon Age. Maybe I did and forgot. Cause when did they reveal
They just
this?
really haven't. Yeah, they haven't talked about it much. They're like, look, a new Dragon Age is coming. It's codenamed Dread Wolf. We'll talk about it next summer. So, like, cool. Like, glad to hear that we're actually getting stuff pushed back instead of just like we were talking. We're just sick of cinematic trailers and no context.
Interesting. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. I like Dragon Age. I like Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
preferably, is what I enjoyed. I think I played one other one other than that, and was like, it was okay. Um,
Yeah.
but I know
Dragon
people
Age 1
loved.
was great.
Which
Yeah.
one is it?
The first one was great.
Okay.
The second one was meh.
Oh, okay. I think I played two. I think it was Dragon Age 2, and then is it Origins or Origin? I can't remember.
Origin.
Origin.
So it's Origin, and then there's a second. It's like so. It was like part one and part two before part one and part two were a thing, because they ended up releasing the first game just as Dragon Age, and then they released a expansion, which became the whole Dragon Age Origin and Dragon Age whatever the second one was,
All
and
right.
then they
Well,
had Dragon Age 2, so it just made more confusion.
okay. Well, interesting. I wonder why they did that. It's some great name scheming. It's like some Xbox type stuff there.
Yeah,
So,
right.
looks like we've also got it. Cyberpunk 2077 is getting its last big update this week.
Yeah,
Like for
yeah.
good. I didn't
This
see
is the
this.
last one. So okay,
Oh wow! I thought this game would be supported for a while.
so fans have modded in what's a metro system, where you can like hop on the subway fast travel, and they're making that official in this,
Okay.
as well as like other balances and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the last like big update.
Looks like Trevor said also speak on the Dragon Age. He said Inquisition. Yeah, I forgot about that game too. So I
Yeah.
have that one, but have not gotten to play it.
That one's
Um,
really good. If
yeah.
you so before you play that, go back and play the first three games, because they tie into the story of the first three. I mean, you don't have to, but there's characters that pop up where you're like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" So
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, I've got to check that out at some point. I bought that actually last year. I think I got it for like $4 at a convention. So I need to check that out at some point. Uh, people. Oh my gosh. What? Sorry, not giving out the addresses.
yeah,
So
I'm
just
I'm not
looked
gonna say
over
that out loud.
one.
I'm looking at doing a PO box next year. So
Yeah, well,
that'll be
I've got one, but I don't advertise. I'm paying for it too.
yeah.
Um, New Dragons and Dungeons game is a multiplayer co-op adventure from the makers of Payday. This I'm excited about. I
Yes.
like Dungeons and Dragons. Now, is all the content they put out over the years good in the game or movie or TV or cartoon realm? No. But this could be cool. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm as someone who hasn't had a lot of time to play D&D, like I'm optimistically like curious. I
Okay.
guess I'm cautiously optimistic. Um, like I want to be excited for it, hop in like realms with my friends, but at the same time, it's like, okay, is this gonna be like a just go do anything, or is it gonna be like there's a set story? So I'm curious. I really am curious. Or if it's Payday, just D&D themed, I think I'd be happy with that too. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I'm there with you. We've also got Serene Exploration Puzzle Game Botany Manor Blooms. I don't think I saw this, but maybe I did.
yeah,
Um,
it was one of those like came out. The news came out on the 4th, and it's just a. I, I was looking at it. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So if you played The Witness, it just gave strong Witness vibes, but it's just a go through first person puzzle game, just like The Witness. And I was
okay.
like, ooh,
It
but it's
looks
gonna be a
cool.
day. Yeah, it's a day one Game Pass game, so I was like, ooh,
Okay,
like
then
because
I'll definitely check
we
it
were
out.
yeah, and we were talking about Game Pass last week and just how like if you're gonna sign up for a subscription service, you're gonna get games like this day one.
Yep. Yeah, especially games like that it's cool to be able to just check out on there. You know what I mean? So I'm all
Right.
for it. Fury, one of the best action games of all time. I don't know, man. Got a free demake last week as a gift to fans. That's cool. I like Fury. It's a
Yeah.
good game, really good game. Not talked
So
about a ton. I feel like either.
I checked out the demake. It is awesome. Like it's 2D side scroller, like hack and slash with shooting elements. It's like it's so good. I was like, okay, like I totally wish. like I could put this on my NES EverDrive and pop it in there.
Yeah,
Like
me too,
that's
dude. You know how legit that would be. That's like when
yeah.
the Grimace game dropped. I immediately put that on my EverDrive to play.
Yep.
I thought it was so fun, man. Do
Yep.
you have an NES EverDrive?
Yeah, I got an NES EverDrive.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Especially yeah, and then I got like a Chinese Game Boy EverDrive, but
Which one is
yeah,
it? What is it? Literally just
just
a knockoff.
the Game Drive. Yeah, just the knockoff Game Drive. But like for Game Boy, I didn't. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what is Game Boy like? You know, in
Hey, don't
NES
diss
like
on Game Boy. I like Game Boy a
no,
lot.
I love it, but throw away the SD card they give you, right? And then for like the yeah, and I
Yeah.
didn't get the EverDrive Pro for the NES and I'm kind of wishing I would have, and I might upgrade my EverDrive for the NES because there's a lot of games that have been ported to NES that are
Yes.
bigger than traditional NES games.
Yep. Tons. Yeah, I highly recommend the N8 Pro. I think it's worth the money. If you got the EverDrive now, you can either sell that and put it towards that one, or I know that Stone Age Gamer does a trade-in program where they'll take back
Yeah.
your old EverDrive and let you upgrade. So
Yeah, that's actually what I'm considering doing.
yeah. What else have we got here? I am tabbed
Uh,
out at the moment.
no, you're good. Zelda and Studio Ghibli it's a game called Europia. That's like if Zelda met Studio Ghibli, and it looks gorgeous. It's got a Steam demo right now, and it's just, oh my gosh. Like if you played Ni no Kuni,
Yes.
then it's imagine those vibes, but as my tab did not mute. Yeah, it's like those vibes hardcore, but me I would kill for a Zelda like this, honestly. Like it's like if Wind Waker was kicked up even further.
That's sweet. Sounds cool. I mean, I love Studio Ghibli and I love Zelda, so that's right up my
Yeah.
alley.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm all for that. That sounds awesome.
yeah, and then we got the Zelda movie director commented on he wants it to be more Miyazaki than Lord of the Rings, which I'm like, okay, like let's go, let's tone down like all the like craziness and focus on like
Yeah,
the actual story. So that was exciting to see. Like, man, the Game Awards just like blew up so much in the
they
news this week.
they really did. They really did. Like
Yeah.
overshadowed anything and everything.
Yeah, because this was
essentially.
announced on Tuesday, and like everybody stopped talking about it.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay. Well, then it looks like we got the trailer for the Amazon's Fallout TV show. I think it looks terrible. I think it looks so bad. I'm
Yeah,
personally not a fan. I love
yeah.
Fallout, but I just don't think it looks good at all. So
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like with the Halo series.
yeah,
Everybody got hyped and it just kind of fell off. Which you can watch Halo for free right now, season 1 on YouTube. So you don't have to subscribe to Paramount Plus and watch Paw Patrol like I have to.
oh man.
Um,
So it looks like Diablo 4 accidentally nerfed everybody, just as notoriously
Yeah.
difficult. An endgame event begins. So okay, all right. The Tour of
Yeah.
Zir endgame event began.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
know we have some Diablo player or Diablo friends, the Diablo fans in the chat, and so, um, yeah. I think also too, just kind of piggybacking off our conversation last week, how like things have become more games as service. And this is a perfect example of that. Like somebody just has to accidentally click a button, and boom, the whole game's ruined.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. I'd probably just give up and quit playing at that point. That'd be irritating. You gotta really, really, really love the game to keep going like that. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's a few comments too. I saw Trevor said, "Sounds fun to me." Got escalated friend said, "Good evening, guys. I love your episode last week. I listened to it, or I watched twice. Oh, thank you so much. Brandon, do you still have some of your trading cards? Could you sign one for me, please?" Yeah, just contact me on one of the socials. I can get you one sent out. Really appreciate you guys week to week. It's my favorite thing to watch. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So we have got, we got some game releases this week. And if you guys got any questions, you can drop them in the chat as well. But we'll go ahead and go over some of the game releases we got. We got Arms Race 2 for PC, December 5th. Disney's Dreamlight Valley, December 5th, is for PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, PC. We got Kingpin Reloaded. Never heard of that one either, but that's PS5, Series X, PC, December 5th. Arizona Sunshine 2, which is really cool, and I am checking out on the PSVR. But yeah, PSVR 2, PC VR, and Quest, December 7th. Avatar, which I also want to check out. I think it looks pretty cool. I have not decided if I want to wait for a significant price drop or not, but that comes out December 7th. PS5, Series X, PC. The day before, PC Early Access, December 7th. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, that is PC, PS5, Xbox Series, and that is on December 7th.
Yep, and looking forward, there's like only 2 games, and it's like never heard of them situation. So I think next week, December 14th, House Flipper 2, and then on the 22nd, Rail Break for PS5, Series X, and PC.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
So hopefully we get some shadow drops.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I'm making sure that there wasn't anything amiss for the news or.
No,
I don't think so.
we hit. There was just so much this week that we would be hours talking about it all.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Is there any? So we do have a few questions. Is there any favorite games this year? Looks like you put one of yours as Super Mario RPG. Yep. Yeah, I have got.
For
I mean,
sure.
I've obviously played the original more than once, and I'm only a few hours into the remake, and I think it's great. But my favorites, I talked about last night. Tears of the Kingdom comes out top, no doubt. And nothing even comes close for me personally. Baldur's Gate, great. There's just so many. It's so hard.
It's been such a busy year.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder for me. Like, I know that wouldn't come in most people's top or game of the year, but I enjoyed it a ton. Goodness, yeah, I don't know. Probably the Super Mario RPG. I really liked Pikmin 4. I'm a big Nintendo guy. I love everything. But I'm a big Nintendo guy. So
it's been a banging year for Nintendo this year.
It really has.
Because
yeah,
we had Pikmin 4, Pikmin 1 and 2, like Advance 4.
That too.
Like oh gosh, Fire Emblem Engage was January or
I just
February.
got Detective Pikachu Returns. I haven't got to play it yet, but it'll probably be a bit before I get around to that. But
Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe this year. Like
yep.
It's been a crazy year. Like, and
it really has.
I don't think I. But that's because I'm playing it with my 6-year-old daughter, and so like that's just a special thing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder with my daughter as well, and she finally got to a point where she sort of gave up. It's hard with video games for her. I've talked to you about it before. She just does not have the attention span for games, especially 2D style
Same
games.
here with
But she got into it, and we played a good bit of it together. And she likes Mario Kart, and believe it or not, for some reason she likes this of all games, and it's fun. But she really likes Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. She likes that game because it has the 2-player mode, and she likes being able to play as Zelda because you can't in like anything else. She really likes
Patrol
Zelda.
World.
Yeah,
Paw Patrol World's been the big one on our house right now.
What's it called?
Paw Patrol World. It's an open world Paw Patrol game. So
interesting. Okay,
got it for $20.
Yeah, my daughter's kind of to where she's too old for Bluey. She didn't really get into it. I mean, it was, you know what I mean? Like she's 8 and she likes other things. But I wouldn't mind checking that game out and grabbing it because my nephew really likes Bluey and he's younger, and she would probably try that game. Like, we've watched a few episodes when he's sitting here, and she sort of got into it, but she's she's 8 going on 16. So
Yeah,
she's into
that.
makeup now a little bit.
Oh
Getting
no.
into those things. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't like it, but she's, you know what I mean. That's just the sort of stuff she's getting into these days now. But yeah. So we got also. It looks like we got 2 more questions before we wrap up. What's your favorite Zelda game? Actually, now mine is Tears of the Kingdom. Also love Ocarina of Time and A Link Between Worlds. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I think it's
Oracle of Ages too. I love that game.
As much as I enjoyed Tears in the Kingdom, I didn't love it just
Sure.
because it felt like such a continuation of Breath of the Wild, and like I got hard into it, and then like now reflecting back, I was like, man, like I put more time to that than I should have in that time span. I should have just spaced it out. Link to the Past is still one of my go-tos, like top
Great
tier for me
game.
always.
Amazing game.
Yeah.
Amazing game.
Like, and then throw in randomizers with it, and it's just such a like fun game.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like Link Between Worlds?
It's I'm trying to think.
The 3DS game. It's the sequel to
Yeah.
Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good game.
No.
And then we got, do you like Animal Crossing? I love Animal
it's fine.
Crossing.
It's not my big
I stopped
thing,
playing New Horizons by the end of the year 2020 when it came out, but I think the games are great. So, all right. Lionheart said, thanks for all the fun, guys. I don't watch week to week and was late working tonight. They might have put they do watch week to week. I'm not sure, but we'll go ahead and wrap up here. It's been a good show. We've got a lot of cool changes coming up for the show. We've got a lot of things planned. I think things that'll make the show better, and then we've also are going to be covering news as main long form videos and maybe some other stuff like shorts and things, but we've got a lot planned with the news to start getting back into that, and Craig has got some ideas as well, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So appreciate everybody watching. We will be live again soon, and we will see you all later.